how does a YouTuber go about discovering like what value they have to really offer to the world, and then really try to figure out how do they capitalize on that and delivering that value to their subscribers and their viewers like consistently in every single video?
That's a great question. Figuring out what it is that you provide that other people don't. And that's something that's hard to discover, and it's a process. I was talking to the guys from AV Byte. They do musicals, and it's like, well, who does musicals? They can do musicals. No one else can do musicals, but a lot of their content isn't successful at all. So they're finding what works and what people are into, and yeah. So you don't really ever get to know until you do it and find it.
Like an ongoing process, then. It just
and always coming up with new ideas, always coming up with new ways to interact with people.
My one tip for that would probably be exposure. And what I mean by that is the more stuff you expose yourself to, you kind of can maybe see what you're passionate about and what you're not passionate about. You could just take a walk. You could see a movie you wouldn't normally see. Try a restaurant you wouldn't normally go to. Buy a magazine you wouldn't normally get.
I took an area that's pretty saturated, doing family vlogs, but finding a way to make that unique and wholesome and something that everyone can watch. Just talked to a lot of people who said that they can sit down and watch the videos with their family, and they appreciate that, and I like that. So that's kind of what I stuck to. I do try to keep in mind who's watching the videos, who my audience is, and I like to think that it's families.
What your audience is going to look for is they're going to look for your knowledge and your expertise in what you're talking about. Now, if you try to talk about a subject, your audience can tell if you know what you're talking about or not. So like Tim, I enjoy watching Tim because he just talks regular and it just flows out of him because he knows what he's talking about. If you're stammering and you don't know what you're talking, guess what? Your audience ain't gonna stay tuned in.
I think you innately know what value you have based on what content you're putting together. And as long as you keep delivering that value and the message that you're there to put, and you're honest in your delivery, you're honest in the content you're putting up, you're honest in what you believe in what you're putting up, you're gonna bring value to it every single time.
I think you have to just experiment on YouTube, really find your thing, and talk about different things that you like. If you like makeup, do a makeup channel, but if that doesn't work out or that's not something that you really want, try something else, because you can't really fail.
The simple answer, nobody can be you, bro. Nobody can be you. You just gotta be yourself. I even have to talk myself out of it sometimes, where it's like, you can't look at that. Everybody's different, everybody's creating their own thing. So just keep creating what you want to create.
Pay attention to the things that your subscribers send you, the things they say to you, because that's gonna be the biggest measure of your value. You just look at what you put out there. If you can go back and look at it yourself and say, I feel good about that, that's gonna really tell you how much it means. And even if you have 3 subscribers or 2 people commented, those 2 people still mean something.
I think it's by reading the comments, honestly. I get comments that people say. I once got a comment saying, I can't even walk, but I go to your videos because it reminds me of how great life is and what's outside. So it's like, that's the reason why I create. I even got an email from a guy saying, I was gonna commit suicide, and then I ran across your channel and it showed me what was so great about life. So it's like, that for me is why I do YouTube. And it's just hearing the comments from people like everyone, and it's like that enforces what I want to do,
I think everybody has one thing that they're really good at. I think a lot of people, maybe they don't discover that very quickly. So I think you got to figure out what you're really good at, and then try to find the people who enjoy that particular niche.
Most people know what they like. If they have a certain talent, they have something that they're really good at, or maybe like just a talent or like a hobby that they've worked on. If you find that you enjoy other people noticing that, like singing, dancing, etc., acting, taking that to YouTube is great, because it's just more people to view what you're doing.
Just sort of figuring out what you love, figuring out like when you wake up in the morning, why are you excited to do that? Why are you excited to get up out of bed and do things in the morning? And and it's about finding that and then diving headfirst into it and giving it your all. If I don't love it, then I got to change something about it, and that's something that I think is a bit different about my channel, is that it has changed drastically over the last couple months, and it will continue to change. Because if I don't like something, if something doesn't feel right, then I'm like, let's change it, and then then I am excited about doing it.
What would you say your value is that you bring to the world through your channel?
I look at things a bit differently than most people, I feel like, yeah. I feel like, I guess the perspective that I come from, I try to attack things from sort of like a very top-down, like looking at it generally, then making it specific, so.
I feel like the value that this guy brings is, and maybe you don't think about it, I feel like you bring a lot of hope to people. And I think hope is like the true value that you like get to share with people. Like, here's my story, very transparent, authentic, and there's a lot of people who watch that and like, that's my story too. And so I feel like through sharing your story, I feel like that gives a lot of hope to people. So I feel like that's the value you bring, and I thank you for bringing it.